Hi, welcome back to Burbex, Brin's Urban Exploration. Today I have brought you to a gigantic cemetery here in Hong Kong. This place is called Junkers Bay Chinese Permanent Cemetery, and it has tens of thousands of burial plots here. We're going to take a look around and I'm going to explain how a Chinese cemetery is put together. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to hit like. Let's go! If you haven't seen my other videos about Chinese cemeteries, be sure to go and watch those. One of the things that's special about this place is actually the scale of it. Here there are tens of thousands of burial plots, and they're all up the sides of the mountain. In Hong Kong, this is quite a common sight. But what is it about Hong Kong's geography that makes it so suitable for burials? Let's take a look at some of the answers to that question right now. A major reason that Hong Kong is so suitable for burial plots is that it's got all these little peaks everywhere. And in Feng Shui, and Feng Shui is kind of the traditional way of figuring out directions and where to put things to bring good luck. In Feng Shui, it's believed that graves and burial mounds should actually be placed facing the sea or facing water. That should be out front, and around the back there should be a mountain. Graves should not be at the top of the mountain, but they should be on the face of the mountain. And also, it's a good idea if it's surrounded on both sides. You can see we're in a cove here. We're kind of protected. It's protected on the left over there, and it's protected on the right over there. So it's almost like an armchair shape. The other important thing is that it should be facing southeast. Southeast, so that we can get the maximum amount of sunshine during the day. In Feng Shui, the Chinese believe that if sunshine is shining on their ancestors' graves, then actually the existing family members will currently be experiencing good luck. If there's not enough sunshine facing onto these graves, then there will actually be fewer male children. And also the women in the family are more likely to be unhappy or depressed. This one, you can see, has actually been turned to face east to maximize its feng shui. This cemetery actually has such good feng shui that people from all over Hong Kong, and in fact all over mainland China, have burial spots for their ancestors here. Take a look at the structure of one of these burial plots. This one that you can see for this young man just here, you can see that he actually came from Guangdong, and that means that they brought his body here, had it interned here, so that he could experience the good feng shui that's around here. On this one here, you can see that we've got the two lions guarding it, and what you can see is that underneath the lion's foot there is an orb, and this orb represents prosperity. So it means that not only will this ancestor have wealth and fortune in the afterlife, but also it will bring wealth and fortune to all of his forebears. That it will bring wealth and fortune to all his family who are still alive. You can see behind me that there are literally tens of thousands of these plots, and I think that really emphasizes how important feng shui is in the minds of not just Hong Kong Chinese people, but also mainland Chinese as well, who maybe don't believe in it as strongly. You can see that there's a burial plot here which has actually been ripped out, and that might be because they haven't paid their fees for the upkeep towards the plot, or it may have been relocated to a new, better location with better feng shui. It's difficult to know, really. Interestingly, on this one, you can see that there's this circular design with the square in the middle. Ancient Chinese coins actually look like this, which means that it might bring fortune and wealth to this person in the afterlife. And again, bring wealth and fortune to the people who are still around. Interestingly, this design kind of ties in with Chinese people's worldview. The ancient Chinese believed that the earth was a large flat square, and the sky above was actually a very large flat circle, and that's how you get this design, the square within the circle. We can see in this one, this lady's from Guangdong, and there's a quite beautiful design just here. You can see we got two fish, and then there's this lotus flower, and this actually has quite strong meaning. The two fish represent wealth, and that's because the word yu sounds like you, and that's part of the Chinese idiom nian nian you yu, every year have luck, but that also sounds like every year have fish, and so you will often see two fish in Chinese paintings. The other point is about the lotus flowers. In Buddhism, the lotus flower represents rebirth because their roots go right down to the bottom of the water where they collect all the mud and all the shit, and they bring up this beautiful flower. So that represents rebirth, and that's why you'll actually see lotus flowers in a lot of Buddhist temples. The other thing that's interesting to note about the relocation of graves and the relocation of burial plots is that when they are relocated here, they have to bring with them a little bit of the original place where they were buried, a little bit of their hometown. Otherwise, the spirit's always going to be trying to return home. If you actually look behind the burial plots here, you can find that little bit of their hometown. Let's go and have a look for that now. So you can see this lady's plot here. It doesn't actually say where she came from, but if we go around the back, and we can actually see that there's this small piece of her hometown. She comes from a place called Shanghai, and here you can see it says Hou Tu, and that's basically a little piece of her hometown that's been brought with her. And so you can see there's some joss sticks that have been placed in there. Hou Tu basically just means behind earth, so it's just a little piece of earth that's been brought from her home. And you can see that all the burial plots here have these little Hou Tu behind them if they've been relocated. Well, I have to say, if I was a dead ancestor, I wouldn't mind living here. It's beautiful up here, and there's a fantastic view, and it's really, really quiet, which is really nice for me because I hate the hustle and bustle of Hong Kong itself. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and be sure also to check out my great list, Cemeteries of the World, where you can explore some great cemeteries, not just in China, but in South America also.